So I do have a question, but I do want to just make one clarification that in all that we've talked about prosecutions and
Hang on. Sorry. Just come up front, sweetie.
all that we've talked about prosecutions and the differences in counties, I think we need to remember there's a really big discrepancy in defenses between Martin County and Palm Beach County and other counties. In other words, up here it seems that there are more plea deals and longer sentences and that kind of thing versus other counties. So it's not just what's being prosecuted, it's how they're being defended, and that's important to consider. My question is for Mr. Colton, and again, it's regarding other counties. The state attorneys in Palm Beach County and Miami-Dade have stated that their intentions are not to pursue prosecuting returning citizens who are trying to vote. We've talked about getting out the vote. We all have to vote, and I work really hard in this community on getting out the vote. But we're facing crushing voter suppression, gerrymandering, and everything else. So we have a catch-22. People want to vote, they can't vote, then other people don't get out to vote, and it's a cycle. So when we're out there talking to returning citizens and we tell them that they have to have all their fines paid with this new poll tax, I'm going to call it what it is, there's that whole letdown again, I still can't vote. So, and there's a confusion about, we're trying to get information where they can find out if they have outstanding fees and fines and how they can go about doing all the right things. But some of them are afraid to even pursue and certainly to go vote, even if they may have gotten all of their boxes crossed and checked. They're afraid because they could be prosecuted again if they make a mistake. And so in those cases, Dave Arenberg and the Miami-Dade, I forgot her name, just read today, their intention is to not follow up with prosecutions on those returning citizens. And I would like to know, Mr. Colton, what your intention regarding those citizens are.
Okay, I'm not sure what you mean about that they're not going to prosecute them. Prosecuting them doesn't fall into this at all. The roadblock here is that when these people want to register to vote, to get their right to register to vote, they have to show they've paid all their fines, that they've paid restitution. If they haven't, they're not going to get the right to vote. There's no new law that they're going to be violating. It's not like they're going to go in and vote and then someone's going to find out that they voted and didn't pay their fines. They're not going to get a voter registration card unless they did. I think I know what...
They can go into the supervisor election and register to vote without having checked with the clerk of court if they have all of
Okay, well,
their
personal responsibility comes into it a little bit too. If a person knows that they've been convicted of a felony and they think that they had and they think that they have satisfied all their conditions, it's easy for them to go back to the court, to the county, to the clerk's office, and a lot of this can be done online without even physically going there and seeing whether or not their record has been completed. People need to take some personal responsibility. I'm not opposed to felons getting their civil rights back. I'm not opposed to them voting, but I think that they should have to pay restitution to their victims first. I also wouldn't be opposed to them getting a conditional right to where, let's say the person owes $5,000 in fees or fines. I would not be opposed to have, and this would take an act of the legislature though, to have it to where they could be put on not a probation, but be conditionally given the right to vote and given time to pay off this fine, whether it's a year, 2 years, 5 years, based on what they can afford. And as long as they continue to do that, they keep that right to vote. But if they stop paying, they then lose their right to vote. I think that that would be a middle ground that would be acceptable to all. But that's going to take an act of the legislature. But I understand what you're getting at, but there's no law that they would be violating unless they went in and claimed that they had paid all their fees and fines and had not. They have the responsibility to check that, and they easily can do that.
That's
Well,
not what I voted.
it's not actually that easy, but I agree, okay, and that's why we're giving them the information of where to find that out. So say I am one of those people and I'm not making the check. I'm just saying hypothetically I'm not making that check, and I go to the supervisor of elections and I register to vote when my fines have not been paid, and I vote and I am caught then voting illegally. Are you going to prosecute me? That's my basic question.
Okay. If a person we have cases where people come to Florida and they register. completely different than the convicted felon. They come to Florida and they register to vote, and they have forgotten to undo their registration in another state, or they voted early in the year in the other state, they moved to Florida, they think it's all right to vote in Florida, and they voted in 2 different states within the same period of time. The supervisor of elections sends us those cases. We don't prosecute all that. We do prosecute the people who have intentionally tried to get around the law and have intentionally voted in 2 different places in basically the same election. So the same thing would be true. If a person makes an honest mistake, we look at these cases on a case-by-case basis. And if the person has honestly made a mistake, we're not gonna prosecute them. But if they've tried to pull one over on the system or on the citizens, then yeah, we're gonna prosecute them.
Yeah.
Fair enough.